Hey everyone, welcome to Prosperous Life Finance, where I help educate you in becoming a better trader and investor. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at some of the most advanced and next generation technology ETFs, which are under ARK Invest. So before we start, once again, I would like to thank each and every one of you guys for all the support which I have been receiving. Once again, I would love each and every single one of you to actually join the Prosperous Life family. And all you gotta do is simply like this video and subscribe to the channel to continue to see more content just like this, which includes stock analysis and stock market tutorials. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Starting right off, we are on the front page of ARK Invest, and in case you guys don't know, ARK Invest is actually a global asset manager, and as we can see here, they invest solely in disruptive innovation. Now, one thing I like is that they say for investors seeking long-term growth in the public markets. Now, this is one very important thing to know, is that ARK Invest does offer a wide array of multiple ETFs, which are exchange traded funds, and an exchange traded fund is just essentially a long-term vehicle for you to grow your money. So you can imagine it as a basket with pieces of multiple companies, which are great due to the fact that they are safer since there is diversity within that ETF. So starting down here, we see their investment strategies. As you can see, ARK's thematic investment strategies span market capitalizations, sectors, and geographies to focus on public companies that expect to be leaders, enablers, and beneficiaries of disruptive innovation. Once again, ARK's strategies aim to deliver long-term growth with low correlation to traditional investment strategies. Now, what this means is that obviously ARK is focused on one main thing, and that is on the newest, next generation, and disruptive innovation. And it is great that they also emphasize the long-term growth part. With all of these new companies, especially in the technology sector, they can be very, very volatile. Now, what this means is that once you park your money there, let it sit there and grow over time, going through its ups and downs of the market volatility. Because at the end of the day, since they are actively managing these funds, they are able to enter and exit to the very best of their ability in order for your account to grow over a long period of time. So right under that, we actually have a visual of all the different type of investments that you can make. And as you can see, you have ARK Disrupt Innovation, you have Autonomous Tech and Robotics, there is Genomic Revolution, and there is Next Generation Internet. If you sort to the right, you'll see more, which include fintech innovation, space exploration, mobility as a service, 3D printing, alongside with Israel innovation, and even cryptocurrency. So we can see all of these different specific sectors which you can invest within ARK Invest. So now we're going to be taking a look at some of their most popular investment solutions, which are ETFs. And as you can see on the right, you have the actively managed innovation ETFs and the index innovation ETFs. And this video, we're actually going to be looking at the actively managed innovation ETFs. So starting right off, we're going to start with the ARK Innovation ETF. Now the great thing is that they have a simple and easy to follow layout on their website of every single fund and all the different details in which you need to know. So we can see here for this specific ETF, ARK defines disruptive innovation as the introduction of a technologically enabled new product or service that potentially changes the way the world works. So as we can see, this gives a very clear description of this fund and their overall objective. Now, one thing with every investment, obviously you have to look at all the different details. Now, the first thing we see here is that they have over $4.8 billion in net assets. And also one of the most important things when it comes to any ETF is the expense ratio. Now, the expense ratio is essentially the percentage that you're going to pay every year in order for this fund to be actively managed. Now, a quick note about the expense ratio is that this can be considered high, but there are actually many reasons why. Now, one thing is that this is actively managed. For actively managed ETFs, you are generally going to pay a higher expense ratio due to the fact that they are being managed every single day. On the other hand, if you are investing in a passively managed ETF, you would obviously pay a lot less since they're going to be passively managed and not actively managed. But either way, 0.75% of all the potential returns that you can get is not a very bad price at all. Now, what I also love is that they have a very simple chart which you can see, such as a 1 month, 3 month, year to date, 1 year, etc. And we can see how the stock was around $34 or so around the March lows and has gone up all the way to over $85 in a few months. So we can see how they are actually performing very, very well within these markets. And obviously, one of the most important things is what do they actually invest in? And the great thing is that once again, they have a beautiful layout which gives you a straightforward approach on all of the holdings which they have. Now here you can view all holdings, or you can just look at the top 10 holdings by their weight. So one of the very first things we see here is that they are very heavy on Tesla. As you can see, they have 9.02% weight on Tesla. Here you can see how many shares are held, and here you can see the market value. Under that, you have Nvidia Corp, and you also have Square Inc. So if you are looking at a fund which actually is investing in innovation, this ETF would seem like a right fit just for you. Their next ETF we're going to be looking at is called ARKQ. As we can see, this is the ARK Autonomous Technology and Robotics ETF, and it says why invest in ARKQ, and it is due to the fact that it has exposure to autonomous vehicles, energy storage, robotics and automation, 3D printing, and space exploration. Now here once again we have the description of the fund and their objective, and going to the left we have more information. As you can see, they have over $317 million in net assets, and their expense ratio is also 0.75%. Now going down here, we're looking at a 6-month chart, and once again from the March lows, it was around $27 per share, and now each share is around $54. So we can also see how they have increased all the way since their March lows around 6 months ago. So reading a bit more about this fund description, we see that companies within ARK Autonomous Technology and Robotics ETF are focused on and are expected to substantially benefit from the development of new products or services, technological improvements, and advancements in scientific research related to energy, automation and manufacturing, materials, and transportation. And once again, it says that these companies may develop, produce, or enable all of these things, which include autonomous transportation, robotics and automation, 3D printing, energy storage, and space exploration. And then once again, here we have their top 10 holdings by weight. As you can see, they have 9.86% invested in Tesla, they have 8.75% invested in 2U Inc., and they have 6.84% invested in Z-Links. So if you're an individual who is really interested in autonomous technology and robotics, this ETF is going to be a great fit for you. And once again, this is the ARKQ ETF. Now for the next ETF, we have the ARKW, which is the next generation internet ETF. And before we start, I just want to say that this is personally my favorite ETF out of all of them, due to the fact that I am an investor in many of these companies that we have here. And as you can see, they have exposure to the next generation internet, including artificial intelligence, big data, cloud computing, cybersecurity, and blockchain technology. So going down here to the fund description, we see how they are focused on and expected to benefit from shifting the basis of technology infrastructure to the cloud, enabling mobile, new, and local services such as companies that rely on or benefit from the increased use of shared technology, infrastructure and services, internet-based products and services, new payment methods, big data, the Internet of Things, and social distribution and media. The companies may develop, produce, or enable cloud computing and cybersecurity, e-commerce, big data and artificial intelligence, mobile technology and Internet of Things, social platforms, and blockchains, and P2P. So once again, looking at some numbers here, they have over $1.3 billion in net assets, and they have an expense ratio of 0.76%. So once again, going down here, we see how from their March lows, they were around $42, and now they are up to over $103 in just a few months. So once again, we see how these ETFs are performing very, very well within these current markets right now. You have their top 10 holdings down here by percentage. As you can see, they have 8.95% in Tesla, they have 8.37% in Square, and 6.67% in Roku. Now, once again, this is my favorite ETF out of all of them due to the fact that they give you exposure to the next generation internet. So if you guys are interested in any of these things, I think this ETF would be a great fit just for you. The next ETF we're going to be looking at is going to be ARKG, Genomic Revolution. As we can see, it says why invest in ARKG, and as you can see, they have exposure to multiple things, including gene editing, therapeutics, agricultural biology, and healthcare innovation. Down here we have a more detailed description of their fund and their overall objectives. As you can see, this company is focused on and are expected to substantially benefit from extending and enhancing the quality of human and other life by incorporating technological and scientific developments and advancements and genomics into their business. The companies held in ARKG may develop, produce, or enable CRISPR, which is an acronym, targeted therapeutics, bioinformatics, molecular diagnostics, stem cells, and agricultural biology. So going down here on the left side, we see how they have $1.3 billion in net assets and an expense ratio of 0.75%. Now looking at the quick chart, as we can see from 6 months ago, the March lows were around $24, and as you can see, since then, they have gone all the way up to around $57 as of now, performing consistently throughout the months. And here we actually have their top 10 holdings by weight. As you can see, they have 11.30% and Invitae Corp. They have 11.25% and CRISPR Therapeutics AG. And they have 6.40% in Arcturus Therapeutics Holding. So once again, we see how this fund is actually focused on gene editing, therapeutics, agricultural biology, and healthcare innovation. So if you guys would like to get exposure to any of these type of companies, this fund would be the right fit for you. So their last active ETF that they have here is the ARKF, which is the FinTech Innovation ETF. And this gives you exposure to FinTech innovations, including mobile payments, digital wallets, peer-to-peer lending, blockchain technology, and risk transformation. So as you can see here, when you invest in this ETF, you're investing in transaction innovations, blockchain technology, risk transformation, frictionless funding platforms, customer-facing platforms, and new intermediaries. So on the left side, we see how they have over $221 million in net assets, and this fund has an expense ratio of 0.75%. Down here, looking at a 6 month chart, we do see how the March lows were around $17 and how they have gone up all the way to $38 as of now. Here we have their top 10 holdings once again. As you can see, they have 12.51% of Square Inc., 5.8% of Mercadolabor, and 4.63% of Apple. So as you can see, they have some nice companies within these top holdings. So if you guys would actually like to get exposure to the sector of fintech innovation, which includes any of these things right here, there's going to be a very great ETF for you. So just like I always tell all of my investors out there, you should always look at the management team before you invest in any business. As we can see, alongside with their experienced management team, there is one single candidate, which is the face of this company, and that is Catherine Wood. Now, as you can see, Catherine Wood is the Chief Executive Officer and the Chief Investment Officer. As we can see, she has over 40 years of experience identifying and investing in innovation, and she founded ARK to focus solely on disruptive innovation while adding new dimensions to research. As we can see, prior to ARK, Kathy spent 12 years at Alliance Bearsign as CIO of Global Thematic Strategies, where she managed over $5 billion. So as we can see, here's more information about her history and also her education. So the thing to know is that some people actually prefer these ETFs over others due to the management team, especially Catherine Wood. So this was a quick look at their CEO and Chief Investment Officer. So overall, I think these are very great and amazing ETFs, and are actually ones that I actually invest in, since I do like these sectors a lot, especially the technology, blockchain, and all of these other next generation level sectors. So with all that being said, I hope all of you guys got some very valuable information from this video. Once again, I would love for each and every single one of you to join the Prosperous Life family, and all you gotta do is simply like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like these. Now let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think about these ETFs? Which ones are your favorite ones? Do you currently invest in these ETFs or actually plan on initiating position? Go ahead and let me know down in the comments below, as I love to hear all of you guys' opinions down in the comments below. So with all that being said, I hope you guys had a wonderful day. God bless you all, and I will see you all in the next video.